Hey guys, so I will be answering one of these questions from my CCR. It says, the question is, how does your product use or challenge conventions and how does it represent groups or issues? So we're going to go ahead and take a walk and we're also going to answer this question. So my product mainly follows the conventions of psychological horror while also challenging some of the typical expectations that audiences might have for the genre. Many horror films rely heavily on visual scares like monsters, jump scares, or violent scenes. However, my film focuses more on suspense and psychological tension rather than physical horror. I use several classic horror conventions such as suspenseful pauses, distorted audio, close-ups of characters' reactions, and slower pacing to build tension. These elements help create an uneasy atmosphere and allow the audience to feel like something is wrong even before it happens. The use of distorted audio was especially important because the story centers around a podcast recording, so sound becomes one of the main tools used to create fear. At the same time, my film challenges traditional horror conventions in a few ways. Instead of showing a monster or a clear threat, the horror is communicated mainly through audio and the mystery surrounding it. The audience never actually sees what the danger is, which leaves them questioning what is happening. There is no direct violence shown in the opening scene. Rather than relying on shock value, the fear comes from curiosity and the feeling that the characters might have discovered something they shouldn't have. This approach fits with more psychological horror, where tension and mystery drive the film instead of action. The film also represents several social groups that feel relatable to modern audiences. The main characters are teenage girls who are podcasters, which reflects how many young people today create media and share content online. The friendship and collaboration also represents how teenagers often work together on creative projects and try to build something online. By showing young content creators, the film connects to current internet culture where people are always searching for their next viral moment. In addition, the film touches on certain social issues, especially the idea of curiosity leading to danger. The main character is searching for a viral story for her podcast, which represents how people sometimes push boundaries online for attention or views. Technology also plays a huge role in the story because the disturbing audio is discovered through a digital platform. Overall, my film uses horror techniques but also explores modern themes related to internet culture, curiosity, and the risk of chasing attention online. In today's world, many people are constantly looking for ways to gain views and followers. Therefore, this helps the audience connect with the story while also questioning how far someone should go just to gain attention or popularity online. Thank you guys for watching this video, and thank you for taking a walk with me. I hope you guys enjoy my film, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now. Hey guys, make banana pudding cups with me while I answer the question, how does your product engage with audiences and how would it be distributed as a real media text? So my product engages audiences by immediately creating a sense of mystery within the first 2 minutes of the film. Since the scene is meant to be an opening of a larger story, my main goal was to make the viewers curious and interested in what will happen next. Instead of revealing too much information right away, the scene slowly introduces the situation as the audience starts asking questions as the story unfolds. This kind of suspense is important in mystery and horror media because it encourages viewers to stay engaged and keep watching to find out the answers. One of the main ways the film hooks the audience is through the mysterious audio file that the characters decide to play on their podcast. At first, it seems like a normal recording, something that could have been sent in by a listener or someone online. However, as the audio continues, the distorted sounds and unsettling tone make the moment feel strange and uncomfortable. This shift in the mood is meant to surprise the audience and make them question what the recording actually is and why it was sent to the characters in the first place. Because the film does not fully explain the meaning of the audio right away, it creates a sense of curiosity and encourages viewers to start forming their own theories about what might be happening. Another way the film encourages audiences through the dialogue between the 2 characters. Their conversation begins in a casual and relaxed way, which makes the situation feel realistic and relatable. As they continue listening to the audio, the reactions slowly change from curiosity to confusion and eventually discomfort. This mirrors the way the audience is likely feeling while watching the scene. By showing the characters becoming more uneasy, the film builds suspense and makes the moment feel more intense. The audience can see that the characters are starting to realize something is wrong, which increases tension and makes viewers more invested in what will happen. The pacing of the scene also plays an important role in keeping the audience engaged. Instead of rushing through the moment, the scene builds tension slowly. The target audience for my film would mainly be teenagers and young adults, especially those who enjoy horror films, short films, or online storytelling. People who already watch mystery content, listen to podcasts, or enjoy solving clues in stories would likely find this film interesting. Since the characters in the film are also young podcasters, it also helps make the story feel more relatable to a modern audience that is familiar with social media culture. If this was a real media product, the film would likely be distributed through online platforms such as YouTube, which would be one of the main platforms to release a short film. Uploading the film to YouTube would make it easy for audiences to access and share it online. Social media platforms such as TikTok and Instagram could also be used to promote the film by posting short clips, trailers, or behind-the-scenes content for the production. These types of posts would help attract attention and build interest before the full film is released. Overall, using digital platforms and social media promotion will likely be the most effective way to distribute the film. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hey guys, watch my final project while I answer the question, how did you integrate technologies, software, hardware, and online in this project? Technology played a major role in the production of my product because almost every stage of the film involves some type of digital tool. For filming, I used an iPhone 15 as the main camera. Even though it is a phone rather than a professional camera, it still provided high quality video that works well for the short film production. I directed the cameraman to use the phone in a horizontal position to make the shots look more cinematic and professional. During filming, I also used several features of the Apple Camera app. One important feature was the pause function, which allowed us to stop and continue recording within the same clip. This helped keep the footage more organized and reduce the number of separate files that needed to be edited later. In addition, we switched between 1.0x and 0.5x lens depending on the type of shot. The 1.0 lens worked well for the closer shots that focused on facial expressions, while the 0.5 lens allowed us to capture more of the environment for dual shots and over-the-shoulder angles. For editing, I used CapCut to assemble the footage and to create the final sequence. CapCut allowed me to trim clips, adjust the pacing, and add audio elements that enhance the horror atmosphere. I also use YouTube as a resource for sound effects and background audio. Certain pieces of eerie music and distorted dialogue were downloaded and added to the film to increase suspense. These sounds helped to make the podcast recording feel more mysterious and unsettling. Overall, combining hardware like the iPhone camera and software such as CapCut allowed me to produce a polished final product even without professional equipment. Online platforms like YouTube also provide useful resources that helped improve the sound design. By integrating these different technologies together, I was able to create a more immersive and effective opening scene for the film and for the final product. Thank you for taking the time to watch my critical creative reflection on my project, and I hope you enjoyed it very much. Hey guys, get ready with me for work while I answer the third question of my CCR. How did your production skills develop throughout this project? So throughout this project, my production skill developed in several ways, especially in directing, planning shots, and organizing the filming process. My main role in the group was the director, but I was also a supporting actor in the scene. Being both behind and in front of the camera helped me understand how important communication and planning are during filming. As a director, I was responsible for making sure the shots matched the storyboard and that the overall tone of the scene matched the horror genre. One of the skills I improved the most was the directing the actors. Since the scene relies heavily on dialogue and reactions, I had to guide how certain lines were delivered and where pauses should happen to build suspense, especially when pauses were added with the Apple feature. I also focused heavily on timing because the opening scene needed to reach between 1 minute and 30 seconds to 2 minutes. To do this, I organized practice runs and timed them before filming so the pacing would feel natural but still meet the required length. I also became better at planning camera shots and following a storyboard. Instead of filming randomly, I made sure the camera angle supported the story and the mood of the scene. What this primarily did was help create a more professional looking shot and made the editing process much easier later. In previous projects, one mistake that I typically made was not paying attention to the timer during the filming, which made it harder to meet the required length when editing. For this project, I corrected that by rehearsing and timing the script before recording. Something that was difficult at first was managing multiple responsibilities at once, such as directing, acting, and keeping track of the shots. However, as filming continued, it became much easier because I grew comfortable with the process. This project helped me become more comfortable as a leader. I learned how to guide my group while still respecting their opinions and their ideas. Instead of being overly controlling, I focused on collaboration and constructive feedback. I also learned that leadership requires patience and the ability to adapt when things do not go exactly as planned. There are moments where I had to rethink certain ideas or adjust a part to the project. By doing this, I helped the group stay motivated, and stay on track. In addition, this experience taught me the importance of communication and organization when working on a creative project, especially in a group. Making sure everyone understood their role and responsibilities helped our group work more efficiently. Overall, this experience made me feel more prepared for future media projects, and I'm excited to do more.